In today's video, Andy Norris will show curator Brett Kelly how to make half a chicken.
Okay, Andy, take it away. What's the first thing we do?
Alright, well, we've got our pan, cast iron pan that's been pre-seasoned, and we have some bacon fat in there from breakfast, your breakfast rations, I think.
Yep.
And we have it sort of heating up on top of the stove. I put a lot of wood in there so it's nice and hot. Here's our half chicken. Got some salt and pepper on there. That's really about as much as they would have had in the way of spice, unless it was warmer outside and they could have gotten to some wild garlic or onions. And
But for a winter encampment, this was pretty much
right,
about it. Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sear each side of this, and since it isn't exactly the freshest of meat, it's been out in the haversack on the side of the building. We're going to sear it to trap all the juices in on both sides, and then I'm going to cook it over a lower heat, which is 6 inches this way on the stove, to the front of the stove, with some white army beans and some water.
So the stove is generally hotter over here towards the pipe.
Right.
And then it's not quite as hot towards the end here. I guess it depends where the flame is the heaviest on the inside as well.
Right. Yeah. Before I put the pan on here, I moved the fire to the back by putting more wood in the back, just so it would generate more heat.
Are the handles to those cast iron pots, are they warming up pretty good?
They're a little bit warm, but I've been trying to keep it out over here. Of course,
okay.
The heat will, it'll spread through.
Because what I've been doing is I have a pair of heavy mittens, rag wool mittens, and I'll grab them and kind of use them like pot holders, that type of thing. When I'm not using them outside, I just use them for cooking. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I have them right here. This is one of them. It's almost like a modern day oven mitt, almost. Mm-hmm. That we might want to keep this handy just in case they warm up too much. You definitely don't want to grab onto something that's really piping hot.
Yeah.
You'll scald your hand.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna take my half a chicken and. All right, it's sizzling. It's gotten up to heat.
Excellent.
To tell if your oil is getting up to heat, you can splash a little water in there, and if it sizzles or jumps a little bit, then.
Okay. So how long does it take to sear each side?
Just a minute. Minute or two. So
now, do you need a fork or something to flip that with?
Yeah, some kind of utensil would be nice. I mean, I was gonna just pick it up by the drumstick, but.
Yeah, just in case you can use the handy dandy spoon fork combination.
There you go.
Did they have tongs in the Civil War?
I don't know. They probably had cast iron tongs or something like that, but we don't have any here. So we have, some of the equipment that they would have had on the company level, like the pots and pans. I don't think the average Civil War private carried around his own set of cast iron pots and pans, but they would have had them with the company cooks or the regimental cooks. But obviously, since I'm generally the only one out here, I have to have some of the equipment that's above and beyond what a regular private would have. Yeah, that looks good.
No, I'm just searing it. I am going to slow cook it to make sure that it's safe to eat, and when we slow cook it, it'll cook the beans as well. So the beans will absorb the juices from the chicken, some of the chicken fat and the bacon fat that's in there, so it'll flavor the beans, and they won't need as much salt or pepper.
Oh, okay.
So it's a good way to reuse fat that you cook with.
Now the beans will just go right in there. They're hard. They're uncooked beans
with water.
With water.
Yeah,
okay.
and it'll cook over
So the water will be in there with the chicken and the beans all together.
Right. Yeah, it'll be cooking slowly, kind of like a slow cooker.
Right. Right. And do we do that right after it's done searing?
We can. I haven't.
Or are you going to cook the chicken a little bit more first?
Well, I'm probably gonna let it sear good on this side. I might flip it over again. It doesn't look like it's seared too well, but yeah, it will slowly cook through.
Okay. Okay.
and it'll be safe to eat.
Okay.
It'll cook
I'll trust
probably
you.
while we go on our hike.
Okay.
It'll cook,
Right.
and by the time we come back, it'll be ready for you to eat.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So I guess we'll see how it pans out when we get back from our hike. We'll get a final look at it before I eat it. All
Oh,
right.
is this the first time you've had chicken, Brett?
Yeah, this is the first time. I've been out here now for about 6 days, and this will be the first time I've had any chicken, which I'm looking forward to.